Whew. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to try something a little new. I will be reading to you a poem about rhetoricity. I will be reading to you a poem about rhetoricity. Now, as I wipe through my poetry and stand-up sets, I see things that I probably should not say. Ooh, choose to be better. That's a good one. That's a good one. Like a dragon on mountains of golden theft, you slumber with thunder, your fire-roasted chef. You boys got rhymes. I got rhymes like dimes. Any note, ain't a thing, no fine. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Title. It's the title of the fucking video. There can be no rhetoricity between sovereign beings. Isolation breeds interpersonal destruction, an inability for the self, permanent denial of existence. There is no I absent from we, no definitions outside of perceptions of the other. Pause for a little too long there. Community brings with it acceptance and presentation of moral truth, demonstrations of birth, invitations of death, existence outside of the self. Community of finite beings present within finite societies, communities of finitudes. With is only found amongst the sharing and finitude itself, identification dependent upon community in full. We know of finitude through inclusion of others. We know of self through inclusion of other. Exposure to other through communication and presence exposes to exposedness. Wounds are revealed, kinks are expanded, and fears are paraded. And you better not kink shame. This isn't part of the fucking poem. If you kink shame, you better not be a subscriber to me, because all kinks are welcome in this kingdom. All right, remember that. Anyways, back to the poem. Reactions become imperative. Significance enforced through inevitability of exposedness through persuadability. Exposure responds through exposure. The thought of immortality, the idea of perfected armor, would inclusion towards the other exist on any level? Would connection have ever even been needed if not for weakness and exposure to the elements? Finitude is what unites. Finitude is what allows for the connection across all beings. Finitude requires connection. Finitude requires protection, and finitude requires devotion. Communication exposes necessity and fear. Fear of the meek, fear of less than. Pursuit of vantage. Atop the mountain and surrounded by the rays of light. A priori affectability. Undeterred, unescapable. Patience begets patience. Community reveals all. Now, if you're like me and you just heard that, you probably have no idea what the fuck that even meant. But, lucky for you, I am also the one who wrote that. And let me tell you, it does kind of make no sense if you think about it and you don't have the background in rhetorical philosophy. But ultimately, the key takeaways here, there's a few lines in here. There can be no rhetoricity between sovereign beings. And on top of that, the point I'm trying to make in this whole thing is that there is no ability to be sovereign. That your existence hinges entirely upon the existence of others, and that there is no you without them, and there's no them without you. For how do you know who you are except through what you are not? And in being alive, and in being just a being, whether you're actually, I take back that first comment. Being alive doesn't really have anything to do with it. But being an entity, a being, whether you're living or dead, and existing in the world, ties you intrinsically to that world and those people around you, and everything that happens to you, everything that you do, everything that happens around you is entirely dependent upon those connections that you've made within the world and that the world has made with you. So patient begets patience, kindness begets kindness. Somebody does something wrong and evil, that adds a wrong and evil effect into the world. It brings up the ideas of like karma, in a sense. But this is going even deeper. to emphasis.
90% of the time, I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
I've lost the train of thought. All right, let me read some stuff. We can cut around this. So a community of finite beings presents within finite societies. We are all dependent and we all depend. The stanza "with" is only found amongst the sharing and finitude itself. The mere existence of life and like thoughts, the pursuit of happiness, all this shit, like your wants and your needs, exists purely because you are finite. That if we were an infinite being, that we lived on forever, there would be no need for connection. There would be no need for food, for water, for love, for hate, for just things that you enjoy. There's no need because it goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And infinite, the infinity is what creates a sovereign being. A sovereign being, one, completely devoid from the world around him, completely separated with no connections, physical or ethereal, to those beings that surround him or that are even nearby, whatever the instances may be. That's sovereignty can only exist through